Pineapple. In the midst of a rainy season that followed a severe drought, a pregnant woman went into labor. A few of her female relatives accompanied her to the hut at the edge of the village where the midwife stayed. When they arrived at the midwife's hut, the midwife was nowhere to be found. She too had gone to the fields to sow and plant before the rainy season ended. One of the women then ran to find her while the heavily pregnant woman writhed and moaned in pain. When the midwife finally came, she peered at the pregnant woman and then raised her hand and shook it at the other women. The baby is still too far, but it is coming. This pregnant one will stay here, but you go back to the fields before the rain goes. The women relatives nodded, and one asked the midwife, "But where are your aides? Will you be able to deliver the baby on your own?" The midwife laughed. "Of course, I have delivered all of this village and the next and the next and the next 10 villages. What is one more pregnant woman? Better the aides till the land and plant the crops than waste their time here and we starve for another year." The women relatives nodded and left, and the pregnant woman continued to writhe and moan, writhe and gasp, and writhe and weep. Once in a while, the midwife would peer again and whisper, "Soon." She rummaged in her many pots and found a concoction which she brought to the pregnant woman's lips. "Drink," she cajoled her. "It will help with the pain. It will also speed the process up." But the process did not speed up. A day passed, then another, then another. At first, the midwife grew impatient. Then she started to feel sorry for the young woman, and still the pain did not ease. On the fourth afternoon, the midwife received a summons from the next village. Another woman was in labor. She peered again at her patient, saw no sign of the baby's head, then summoned her aide. "Take care of her. I hope this one I'm attending will be a quick one." And she left around midday. The sun had not even started a decent descent towards the west when she got back. The baby didn't even cry, she told the aide. Not even a gasp, just quiet, like a doll, like death. They shook their heads. "How is this one?" She stood up and went to peer again. This time she peered for a longer time. "I think it's near," she told the aide and the now quiet women. "I can see the head." She dismissed the aide and told her she would call for her should the need arise. The pregnant woman and the midwife did not have to wait for long, however, because just then the pregnant woman screamed and pointed at somewhere between her legs. The midwife rushed to her, peered again, and screamed too. "Now, push, it's coming!" And with a whoosh, as if he had not troubled his mother for 4 straight days, the boy glided out. The midwife smiled at the healthy cry and went to swaddle him in the animal skin that his mother had brought. But before she finished swaddling, the woman screamed again, pointing at her thighs. The midwife peered again, and her heart sank. A full herd of hair was peeping out, and before either woman could react, the boy glided out of his mother's body and landed into the midwife's unprepared hands with a healthier and louder cry than his older brother. Bewildered, the midwife rose. She knew what this meant. Multiple births were a taboo in the village, and children had to be taken down as soon as they were born. The presence of twins and triplets meant that there would be strife, war, droughts in the village, and both had to go. "Please," the now unpregnant woman said, crying now, "please don't kill them, please. I am the second wife to my husband, and I have not borne him a child. The third, the fourth, and the fifth wife all came and had children. They ridicule and laugh at me daily. I cannot go back home empty-handed, not after all this pain." The midwife felt a pang as if this woman's pain was her own. She had seen her pain, and sending her home with nothing would be a betrayal of the motherhood journey. She quickly rose and went to lock the door from inside while still holding the younger twin. She rummaged in her bag and found some skins in which she wrapped the other twin. Her mind was whirling. She was under strict instruction to record any multiple births to the customs council. They would then send their men to come and take the babies. The babies would be seen no more. The midwife then said, "Listen, I will give you the older twin to keep. This one, however, I will give to the woman who lost her son in the other village, but you have to promise to keep this a secret." The unpregnant woman nodded. As soon as dusk set, the midwife hid the other boy in a basket and slunk away into the forest to deliver a brand new baby to another of her patients. Alone in the midwife's heart, the new mother named her son Onai and held him close. When the midwife arrived back later that night, she told Onai's mother, "He is okay. He has a new mother. He is safe." The two women pledged to each other to keep this a secret as long as they lived. Onai grew up to be the pride of his family. He was a younger sibling to some of his sisters and brothers, but as he grew, they noticed how apt and quick and decisive his mind was, and how nimble and deft his movements were. He excelled in the village boys' school, where they taught them to hunt, to carve, and to mine. As he grew from boyhood into manhood, his prowess became known within the village, and his mother, who had had no other children, was the proudest woman of them all. The boy had turned their life around. From being the laughingstock of the household, she became the pride of the village. But there was one thing about his mother that puzzled Onai. Once in a while, she would go off into the forest to look for firewood or fruit alone. She would be gone for a greater part of the day and then return close to the evening with the barest basket of fruit or the leanest bundle of firewood. Whenever she was asked where she had been, she would say, "I go to sit by the river to watch the birds and the sun as it races across the sky. I crave the time I spend alone, far away from the drama in this home." No one would question her further. Now, every year, the 5 villages around Onai's village had a custom for boys and girls coming of age. A period of festivities would precede what they called the contest. At the contest, young girls and boys would compete in a series of challenges, with winners proceeding to the next and then the next until the winner was announced. Before the contest, young boys and girls would spend months and months preparing, and even then they would hazard a guess as to who would lead the village to victory. The year Onai turned 15, bets were placed on him. He would lift the trophy for the village. On the day before the festivities, the king summoned Onai. "Young man," the king said to him, as Onai knelt before his ornate throne, "I have heard of your prowess. Is it true that you are the best thing that has happened to this village?" Onai smiled shyly. He had been raised too well to be proud. "I am trying, my king," he said. "Well then, young man," the king responded with a light laugh, "go out there and show the world what Mara is made of. We have not had a champion in the last 10 years, and we have become the laughingstock of all our neighbors. I am trusting you to restore the dignity of this village, right?" "Yes, sir," Onai responded, eyes still downcast, but his heart and his mind vowing to succeed. The festivities began. This year, it was Mara's turn to host, and women and men worked together, slaughtering beasts, preparing food and beer, and warming drums for the dancers. The people from neighboring villages came and set up camp in designated areas. They joined in the festivities and ate and drank with the Maras. The morning of the contest dawned, and all became somber. The embers of the festivities died down, and each village prepped its contestants. Then the contest began. The first tasks were smaller and easier, and entailed usually running from one obstacle to the next before gaining the clue to the next round. At each round, a group of contestants would fail, and they would be jeered by the group of spectators before they too joined the spectators. Bit by bit, the crowd of contestants grew thinner, and yet Onai was still qualifying to each next round. The hopes of the village were on him, and he psyched himself up to every test. He finished the 3rd day of the contest a winner. He had qualified for the final round. It would be a duel with spears the next afternoon with a boy from Para village. He had heard whispers about the other boy. Some said the boy looked like him. Others said the boy was stronger than him. Others even said he was a seasoned hunter in his village and had killed a hyena that had terrorized the village barehanded. A part of Onai shivered in fear. Another part in him shivered in excitement. He wanted to meet this boy enigma. The day of the final round dawned, clear and chilly. Onai's mother brought him a hefty breakfast, and two young siblings of his came to massage his back and shoulders and feet. Mukoma Onai, one of the siblings, said, "I saw the boy, your opponent. He looks just like you." They all chuckled and laughed. "But I know, of course, Mukoma Onai, that you will beat him." Mukoma Onai nodded. At midday, the bell rang, and spectators walked to the arena and took their seats. At either edge of the arena, the two opponents received last-minute instructions from their supporters, and the bell rang again. The two boys sprang into the court, and as his opponent got nearer, Onai gasped just as the opponent gasped too. It was like looking into a mirror at his own image. Onai blinked twice to clear the mirage in his head, but the boy still remained the same, eerily staring at him. The bell rang again to signal the start of the duel. Both boys moved to the center and raised their spears in the same arc of the head. They tried to attack each other, but their movements were so similar it could have been one person moving. When one attacked, the other attacked too. When another jumped, the other jumped too. Their movements were synchronized. It ceased to be a duel, but instead became a symphony. The crowd that had been jeering and cheering slowly quieted. Something strange was happening in the court. Their minds struggled to comprehend whether it was two or one person they were seeing in the court. The symphony went on for a little while, with Onai still confused about why this other boy was mirroring his actions, making it difficult to fight. Then a loud scream rent the air. "Twins!" the screaming voice called out. "There's the twins! Look at them! Look at the similarities! Multiple beds! It's a curse! A curse!" Comprehension dawned on the spectators. They had never seen twins before, but this explained it. No two people could be so alike, that they moved together so seamlessly and simultaneously. And even as comprehension dawned, the screaming voice called out again, "Kill them! Kill them before the curses start again." But Onai's mother tore into the court screaming too. "No," she called out. "Don't kill them. They are mine. I begged the midwife to let them live. Yes, they are twins, but look, the villagers have enjoyed prosperity for years. They have done no one no harm. They are innocent. Please, if you have to kill someone, kill me instead." But the crowd was chanting, "Kill them! Kill them!" The two boys had dropped their spears as their mother spoke and instinctively moved towards each other, hands clasped together. The chants were growing louder, and the little reunited family was doomed. Noticing the restlessness of the crowd, the Ngara king moved from his seat and walked into the court. Standing together with the family, he raised his hands as if they had a magic power. The crowd immediately quieted. "People of Mara and people from all the villages around us, listen," he said. "Yes, we have a custom, and yes, we have traditions. But today we have a complex yet easy issue before us. Custom says to kill them at birth, but says nothing about what to do with them when they are grown. Custom tells us of curses, yet these boys have lived with us in relative prosperity. Look at them now, strong and sturdy, ready to lead us in war, in the fields, in the hunt, in the homes. If we kill them now, who loses? Us, all of us, because we will lose soldiers. Now, to solve this problem, I want to call on any one of you in the stands to come and fight this too. If he wins, we will kill them. If they win, we will kill him." No one moved. They had all seen the boys sparring. No one wanted to risk their life. "Very well then," the king said after a silence. "These boys and all other multiple beds will live in this village. I have nothing further to say." He walked back to his seat. There was still silence. The two boys looked over at each other and clasped their hands firmer. It was the beginning for them. Thank you for listening, and thank you for engaging in all the previous stories. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for liking. Thank you for even coming to this page. Love you long time, and please don't go away without a like. See you in the next one.